to the Let's Talk About podcast with me, your host, Mumbi Johnson, and let's get into this episode. Hey, hello, welcome to the Let's Talk About podcast. I'm Mumbi Johnson, the host. If you are new and if you're not, welcome back. Thank you for coming to listen to my podcast again. As you can see, if you're watching this video, you can see I'm in a different location. I am in Curaçao and I'm on vacation with my family. Today is actually my last full day, but I had to make sure that I had an episode to publish for you guys because I don't want to leave you guys hanging. And I've also just been very inconsistent for the past month, and that's been because of school and everything, but I want to get back on schedule and just be really consistent. But I've had a really great time here in Curaçao. I really needed this vacation just to relax and spend time with my family. But I hope that everyone who's listening is doing well and thriving. And if you aren't, just know that there are better days ahead. But I thank you for joining me today to listen to my voice. But the topic of today's episode is all about gratitude and how being grateful and seeing things in a more optimistic or positive light has really changed my outlook on life. And we're just going to dive straight into it. To start off, I think everyone knows that it's good to be grateful and to acknowledge how many things that you have or how many things are going well for you. And it can be hard sometimes to really think about that in the everyday life because, I sometimes I tend to complain about things that are very small, or like I don't acknowledge all the good things that are happening to me versus what I am what is preoccupying me and what I'm worried about. I know that many people have bought gratitude journals to really be able to see or be able to like visually look at all the things that you're blessed to have, you're lucky to have, because some people don't have the same experiences, the same resources as you. And it's really good to be able to see and look and really visualize all the good things that you have going in your life. And we all struggle. And I'm not going to say that we don't struggle, because we all have personal problems, whether that's family related, health related, whatever the case may be. We all have things that we go through and things that we need to overcome. But there are also things that I think that we need to, or we should pay more attention to and be grateful about. And for example, I think one of the most basic things is being able to wake up another day. Not everyone can say the same thing. There are people who, actually, this is really sad, but there are people who did not get to live another day, but whether their life was cut too short or whether it was dying of old age or of disease. I say this because if you have been paying attention to what's going on in the news surrounding schools and shootings, and if you're uncomfortable listening to this part, you can skip ahead a little bit. I'm not going to be talking about it for too long because it's sad and I don't want to make people sad, but there have been a lot of school shootings, and too many. Like that, the fact that we're even counting is insane and it shouldn't be happening, and guns are the problem. And I'm just going to say that. I don't want to be like, this is not a political podcast or whatever, but the fact that people refuse to believe that guns and the accessibility to guns is not the problem, I think they need to gather themselves together, because that is literally the problem. But regardless, there are people who did not make it today to live another day, and this has been an ongoing thing, whether it's in Tennessee or if it's in Sandy Hook. It's too many lives have been lost. And I was actually watching reruns of American Idol, and one contestant said that he had lost 8 of his friends in a school shooting, and Katy Perry was really touched and emotionally touched by that, and she started crying, and I started crying too, because I can't imagine me having to live through such a traumatic experience and lose 8 of my friends, because I love my friends, I love my family, but to be in the same environment and 8 of your friends not surviving, because I go to school every day because I'm a high schooler and I'm trying to graduate. But I go to school every day and I can't imagine myself losing 8 of my friends because they mean so much to me. I've built long, and this shouldn't happen to anyone, regardless. I don't care if they're my friends or not, but this shouldn't have to happen to anyone. And so I'm just grateful that every day I wake up and get to live and experience another day. And I get to see my friends, I get to see my family, I get to see the world, see the trees, the birds, the sky, the rain, just being able to breathe and live and get to experience even more things than I was able to experience yesterday or days in the past, years in the past. So that's one thing. I think another thing is being grateful for having a roof over your head. I live in New York City and there is a homelessness crisis. And this is all over the US, but New York City is a very populated city. There are a lot of homeless people. They don't have roofs over their heads and they don't go to shelters because shelters are not the safest option for them. But I'm grateful that every day I get to go to bed in a nice, warm, comfortable bed in a house that's heated, a roof over my head. I have no leaks in the roof. I have heat. I have running water in my house. I can take a shower. And the fact that I have shelter, I have a safe shelter, because not everyone can say that they might have a roof over their head, but they might not be living with people who are providing them safety and security, whatever that may look like. So there's just countless things that we can be thankful about and grateful about on a daily basis, things that we look over like food, being able to have 3 meals a day if you have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, maybe snacks in between, or having the option to feel like ordering some takeout or getting something delivered like a Starbucks or it could be anything really, but I'm just trying to list some examples. So yeah, I think writing these things down, especially in a gratitude journal, if you choose to buy one, you don't have to get the 5-minute journal because that may be out of your budget. You can simply just print out some paper or get some printer paper or college ruled paper, write a few things that you're grateful about every day, maybe before you go to bed or maybe the first thing when you wake up in the morning. It doesn't have to be like in a specific gratitude journal, but if you just make time to write things down that you're grateful about, I think that's a really good tactic to having a more optimistic and positive outlook on life, because you have all these things to be grateful about and your life really is great in the sense that you have these things and not everyone can relate to that. And I really sincerely hope that this world can get better and there's more peace and love and security for everyone. And I know with the current climate of things that's very unrealistic, but if I if I had one wish, it would be for the world to just be peaceful and for everyone to have like all the resources that they need. I mean, having this grateful mindset or a mindset filled with gratitude, like it's made me realize how great my life is. Even when I have ups and downs, I still try to look at the positive things. Like, for example, my mom had her breast cancer came back, and that wasn't something that I could be grateful about because that's not something that's good. It's not something that anyone would want for someone that you love or just anyone in general. But that was a really hard moment for me and I'm still grappling with it. It's still sad for me, but I choose to look at the fact that she's waking up every day. The treatments that she is getting are helping and they're promising. And the fact that we are on a family vacation in Curacao and just enjoying each other's company is something that I'm so blessed to have, and to be able to make these memories and continue to see my mom every day. And she's not struggling. She's fully capable. Yeah, she's going to need some help, like, changing her diet or doing some supplements or whatever the treatments need and just taking care of her health. But the fact that she still has a majority of her health and she's getting healthier is something that I can be grateful about. And also the fact that I recently turned 18, if you didn't know. I was scared to grow up. Like, even at my big age, 18, with this big label put on me, I was scared to grow up. Everyone was saying, oh, now you're 18, 18 this, 18 that. And I was like, yeah. But then it started to it was like very daunting and like made me feel like I had all this weight on me because I'm 18. People expect me to be a certain way. People expect me to do this, to do that, to not do this, to not do that. Like growing up and just having all these responsibilities. And I had a little bit of a meltdown. I started crying because I was like, I don't want to grow up. I'm like scared to grow up. And this is a very scary, exciting, nerve-wracking time of my life. And like it just I was scared. I was literally scared. And but then I chose to look at it like, wow, I have the opportunity to be scared, to be nervous about growing up, to experience growing up. And like I said, not everyone gets to do that. So I'm grateful to be able to have this position in my life where I have the ability, or I can be scared, not have the ability, that's the wrong way to put it, but to be nervous, to experience the things that a high school senior experiences, getting into college, maybe getting rejected from college, being able to pick out a prom dress, being able to um, hang out with my friends, go on vacation for spring break, um, have an 18th birthday party and go to more parties and graduate. The most important one, graduate from high school. And God willing, I continue to live until that day and even beyond. Because I one thing about me is that I am very imaginative. So even though I love living in the present, I love thinking about my future and the positive things in my future, like um my first apartment. Like I'm so excited to grow up and eventually have my own apartment, or my first real job, or being in a relationship possibly and getting married. Because I one thing about me is that my Pinterest, I have a Pinterest board about my wedding. Even though I'm 18 and I don't plan on getting married until mid late 20s, that might change, who knows? But I have a Pinterest board about it. And Pinterest is a manifestation technique. If anyone, I remember I saw a tweet by Kenlyn Blackwell, and she said Pinterest is a whole manifestation board, or in itself, like it's a manifestation app. So she's so right about that, because literally if you just visualize and create boards, mini vision boards within Pinterest, like you can visualize your life. And also being a content creator and creating a podcast, creating YouTube videos, creating some TikTok videos and reels and stuff. Like I realized through those, because I literally have a camera and I'm literally recording moments of my life, I'm able to look back at my life and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. I had all these different experiences. And sometimes it makes me tear up. I'm like, I'm so grateful, because even people in my family, like I have some relatives in Kenya, and they can't even imagine what my life is like in the United States, because naturally they don't get the same opportunities as I do, just because of the different cultures and the different things in Kenya versus here. And I'm not saying that Kenya is inferior to the US at all. I love going to Kenya. It's one of the best experiences that I'm so grateful about. Like being able to go back and visit my family miles and miles away, and going on airplanes to even go see them and just be in their company. I'm so grateful that I have a connection to them too. And I'm grateful that my mom has not made me miss out on these experiences and really wanted me to connect with her side of family. And just being able to see them so often, because I get to see them around every 2 years. And we went to Kenya last summer, and we might be going for my winter break in college. Because my winter break in college, I think is longer than the 2 weeks that I have for private school, but we'll see what it looks like when we get there, because I'm not yet enrolled in college. I will be very, very soon, but we'll see when that time gets here. But my parents plan on going back to Kenya in December for the holidays. So if all works out and goes according to plan, I'm really excited to go and do that. I'm just grateful that I was able to forge these connections with my relatives and just be so family oriented, and that's a value that's really oriented in me. And speaking of college, like being able to have the opportunity to apply to college and like go to college, my parents are going to be able to fund me, and I think I'm going to be helping them as well, just like, because it's also my education as well. So but even like having the option to go to college, not all kids have the option to go to college, or it's not an option for them because either they have to help out with a family business, or it's they have to take care of siblings or something like that, and they have to work way ahead of time and not get like a college education. Or I mean, if they want it, because college is optional, you don't have to do it. But having the opportunity to expand my knowledge, to go study something that I'm interested in and explore it while I'm at it, because I'm going to be in a different state. I'm not going to stay in New York for college. Um, and I think that's good for me because I kind of want to get out of New York for a little bit. But I think I'm gonna come back after college because New York has my heart. Like I love New York, and I can't see myself living anywhere else. I don't know. Like I definitely don't want to live on the West Coast. That's not my vibe. Love visiting, but I don't think I would want to live there. East Coast has my heart. I don't think I'm a Massachusetts girl. No, I think New York is just it. But regardless, I'm just grateful that I'm going to be able to go to college and meet new people and expand my networks and get even more opportunities, internships, and study abroad programs. Like that, some of those thoughts or experiences don't even come across people's minds because maybe they don't know about these things, or maybe they just can't do it for whatever reason. So being like, even though my life isn't picture perfect, I don't live it perfectly like the aesthetics that you see on Pinterest or Instagram. I'm a real person and I have my struggles, and not every day I wake up looking like a pink Pilates princess. I'm still grateful for the fact that I'm living. I have my family and friends around me and they're supporting me. I am able to travel. I'm able to get educated at school. I'm able to eat good food, healthy, nutritious food. I'm able to travel around in a car. I'm able to travel in a plane, in the air. I'm able to have a phone, to have electricity, to even taking a shower, like drinking quality water that's good for me, that's not contaminated. Like all these little things I have to be grateful about. Hey guys, as I'm editing this podcast episode, I just wanted to add that the day that I recorded and filmed this, that night I didn't get the best news and I started to become not too positive or optimistic and wasn't using the gratitude mindset that I had just preached about. But then I swear that the universe was working and was telling me, it was reminding me, like, girl, you have to be grateful for what you have. And literally that night when I was drinking my tea and being a little bit upset about something, we drank a lot of yogi teas, which has like a little message on every tea bag. As I was crying and drinking my tea, the little quote that I received is, gratitude is not about what is received, it's about how you receive what is there. And literally the same day, the same time where I was feeling down and just not looking at what I had and being grateful for what I had, instead looking at what I didn't have, this message came to me and I was like, wow, the universe is really trying to tell me something. Because how is it that it's not like, it was so coincidental that it just felt weird. But anyways, I just wanted to add that in. Even when you're feeling down and you're feeling like things are not going your way, just look at what you have and choose to be grateful for that thing that you do have. And this is just a little reminder, because I know not every day is perfect, and I've said that in this podcast episode, but just look for the good in things and be grateful for what is there. Definitely going to carry this message all throughout my life, because I feel like gratitude is just one of the most important things in life and is the key to really enjoying your life and having a positive outlook on life. So back to the episode. Yeah, just like having so many supportive people around me. So I think if you're ever feeling really down, or like life is not going the way that you want it to, or you're just hitting a rough patch, because we all do hit rough patches. No one's life is going to be perfect. And if it is, maybe you're in a Wattpad story because I don't, maybe a fairy tale, I don't know, but good for you. But for the majority of us, life isn't perfect, and don't stress on making your life perfect. Just be grateful for the things that you can be grateful for. And that just might make you feel a little bit better. I think that was like, just this might have been a shorter episode, but like I felt like I just wanted to say that. And just for anyone who might be like sad or anything, or even if you're not sad, just realize how many good things there are in your life. Even if it's a very small amount of good things, there's still at least one good thing that you can say that you're grateful about. And like I said, you can write these things down. You can speak it out. You can literally say, I'm grateful for the coffee I had this morning, or I'm grateful that I'm able to have a gym membership. I don't know. Or sleep in a bed. And the more that you practice gratitude, the happier you will tend to be, because you're looking at the positive things, like I said earlier, and you're not constantly drowning yourself with negative things, because really the world can be depressing, especially if you watch the news every day. Like, there's nothing good on the news, really. They might put like one or two good things on the news and like you can smile about it, or like it's informational, but for the most part it's not happy, it's not uplifting, because all I see is fires, shootings, stabbings. Like, that takes up the majority of the news. And it's like, well, if I watch the news every day and continuously see all these images of like negative things, and like, I know it's good to be informed about what's going on where you live, or in the country that you live in, or even worldwide, it's good to have an understanding of that. But when you're bombarded with these images every day, it starts to become depressing and just like not happy or uplifting. One thought that I was telling my dad about the other day was that people in the olden times, or people years back when there wasn't television, or phones or social media, and there was no like mass media messages. And like I'm studying marketing and the understanding of media, or I want to study marketing and the understanding of media and messages, because that's literally what marketing is. And I'm probably going to go into this stuff even more, but when we weren't in an age of mass media where we were always getting like notifications, news constantly, like there's news 24/7. There's social media where you can also find out things, but also social media can be a harmful place. It can be a good place, but it can be a harmful place, especially when people might be cyberbullying. That's a thing. But I was talking to my dad, I was like, when people didn't have this mass media, I feel like they might have been a little bit happier, because there were a few things that they could really worry about or complain about, because it was literally happening in their little bubble. I don't know if that's the right term to use, but like they weren't, this wasn't like mass media just all coming at them at the same time, just being bombarded with it. So maybe it's also a good idea to just like have and practicing gratitude and just like being grateful for what you have, maybe not having so much like bad stuff or bad energy just coming into you or at you. I don't know if that makes sense, but like maybe you can watch the news, but don't watch it like for 3 hours, or maybe don't be on social media or the internet for like too long if you don't want to see like bad things. I feel like I just switched the topic from like gratitude to like positivity, or like, anyways, gratitude and positivity go hand in hand. But anyways, I think that is it for this episode. If you enjoyed, you can listen to my other episodes. They're not as down, but I should also say that if you are looking for a new podcast, I should have said this in the beginning, but if you like this, you might like some of my other episodes. Like, I can talk about some like more serious things sometimes, or like more like fun, uplifting stuff. But usually my podcast is based on confidence, self-love, self-care, wellness, like all this different stuff, and just having like a little conversation with you. And when I get back home, I'm gonna plan some more episodes for you so that I'm consistent and just like up and running. So if you want to keep up to date with like what I'm doing or where the podcast is going, if you want to get notifications, you can follow the Instagram at let's_talk_about podcast. I also have a TikTok and a Pinterest. for my Pinterest girls and or guys. And I think I might make my personal Instagram public so that if you wanted to connect with me there instead, yeah, I don't know that because I kind of do like a little sense of privacy. That's why I have like a podcast Instagram, but I do know that being a content creator, like sometimes having a public like anyways, that's not part of the conversation. So yeah, if you enjoyed, you can follow, give the podcast a good review. If you don't like it, you can tell me what I can improve on. You can DM me on the podcast Instagram. And yeah, so I enjoyed talking to you guys so much, and I'll talk to you guys very, very soon. Bye.